Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on this episode I'm going to be replacing the starter on a 2021 Buick 1.3 liter turbocharged engine. I have a customer who needs a new starter, and it actually took quite a while to get here because of the strike. So it's finally here. Let's head across town and put a new starter in for him. Hopefully this goes pretty smooth. It doesn't take very long. Okay, here we go. I've got the key. Here's the new starter. I just took it out of its box. Yeah, I'll just take this over there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this car jacked up. I just want to make sure I do this safely because there's a chance I might be underneath this car a lot while I'm doing this job. Also got to be careful of the cars around me, so let's get it set up real quick and get going. Oh boy, I finally found it. But I'm even less excited about where it's at. You see it? Right there. I don't know, dude. I told him it was going to take 2 hours. I might have to do it from the bottom because it doesn't look like I can do it from the top. But it doesn't look like I can do it from the bottom either. Dagnabbit. These are all coolant hoses too. I had to look up pictures of torn down motors to find the starter. Couldn't even tell if that was it for sure. I had to come back and look. I did see somebody complaining about how hard this was to deal with though. The coolant stuff that's right in front of the starter, so oh boy, that's a big job. I think it's a lot longer than 2 hours. Well, I'll check back in. This episode of Roadside Rescue is sponsored by Bob and Brad. I've got a bunch of back problems and I'm always using massage guns. Bob and Brad brand is one of the best. I've been researching about massage guns for years and this brand always pops up. So I was super excited to get to try out their new Air 2 mini massage gun. Let me show it to you for a few seconds and we'll get back to the video. The battery on this thing lasts forever. A couple of years ago I bought a super expensive massage gun. And this is just as powerful and lasts way longer. It's just as powerful as the most expensive massage guns on the market. Trust me, I have one. It's super easy to use. And it's so small I can take it with me every day. For when I'm just cramping up in the middle of those jobs. Not to mention this thing is an amazing deal, so check out the link in the description of the pinned comment. This is a product I totally recommend. Back to the video. Forget what I said earlier about this not getting more complicated. The exact opposite. Just getting more and more complicated. It's going to take longer. It took forever to diagnose because the wires at the starter, just both of them have power. I thought one was supposed to have ground. That was throwing me off. So I had the customer come back and help me double check. Both of those get the signal they're supposed to when the car's attempting to be started and it's just not kicking over. So I've got to go get a coolant jug now because I'm gonna have to drain out all that coolant. So I'm gonna get some cardboard too because the ground's gonna be wet after I'm done. And then what? I don't know. Hopefully I can get it done in less than 3 hours. That's a tricky spot to get to. I'm gonna take the water pump out from below it. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I'm gonna get some food too. It's kind of in the afternoon. I'm pretty hungry. All right, I've got some food. Got cussed out by a few bad drivers, and I'm on my way back now. I actually had to swing back by my house after I got food because I wasn't sure if I had a pair of hose clamp pliers. I didn't find my second pair in the big truck, so I'm assuming I had the first pair all along. But to better be safe than sorry, I'm gonna be taking off a ton of hose clamps. So I got those in just a couple minutes away now. See you when I get back there. Yeah, it's probably gonna take a few hours. Okay, so here we are. I'm ready to do it. Nothing left to do but to do it. Okay, that's the water pump, I think. So I can't forget to disconnect the battery before messing with anything like that because it's definitely electronic. 2 big old wires in there, those will light you up. Or fry some electronics. Might do something bad. Anyways. I think that's water pump. All these hoses, so I'm just gonna start with one and let it drain. That's what I was saying, no matter how well you get that to drip in there, just splashes everywhere, it's gonna be wet. Well, I took the radiator cap off and it came out a lot faster, so I put it back on. And we'll just wait a few minutes like this. Go on all the way. Okay, so I believe I've got the water pump loose. There's 2 studs above it and one little bolt right there, and just these 3 hoses, I think, in the connector. So we'll test that theory and pull it out, and I'll show you the studs I'm talking about. All right, 1 hose above it, just this one right here. It's got a hose clamp, and then we can finally see the starter there. And there's those studs, if you can see them yet. So this is about ready to come out. Just get that last hose right there. Okay, so that's the same hose for the top of the water pump, the one that the hose clamp pliers are on now. I had to take this upper hose out of the way to get to that clamp, but it was easier than trying to get to that clamp on the back side of the water pump. So pull that off, and now we're ready to get a good look at the starter. Okay, so there's the hose clamp on the back side of the water pump. Hardly any room to grab that. You can see it's right up against the edge of the plastic there, so just took it off from there. And here's the starter. So there's the 2 studs on the top. If you can find those, you can feel the starter bolts above the water pump right there, but you can't do much with them. And I think maybe just 1 hose out of the way to give us some wiggle room. We might be able to get out without taking all these hoses off. If anything, I can remove the studs. Man, I wish you could see what I was talking about. There's not really any other way about it. I had to take this nut off of the alternator because that cable's just too short right there. So anyways, alternator wire has to come off to do the starter, but now that came off, and now it should finally wiggle free down there, because I couldn't get it to wiggle free with that cable still on. Okay, apparently you need to take the AC compressor loose. Hey, there might be a silver lining. There's a stud on the front, so if you take the bottom 2 loose, then it lets you wiggle it, and that might be just enough room from what I saw last time. Maybe not, but I'll give you an update. Ooh, just barely. I mean, barely. I was prying on it this gently, wiggling it, and as I was bouncing it, it kind of got its way out, and it came out like this, bottom first, because I was trying to see if I could slide this through, and it wouldn't, so it ended up coming out this way. Someone to put it back in that way, but however long that was, way longer than I was hoping. It's almost getting dark out now, and I've got probably a couple hours left to put everything back together, but yeah, at least we'll be done. Alright, so when I slid the new starter into place, I actually didn't have to wiggle the AC compressor at all, so I'm not sure if you had to take that loose in order to get it out. That's just something you'll have to check into. It's worth giving it a try yourself to see if you can get it out, but I couldn't get the starter out without wiggling that AC compressor. But again, it went right back in, no problem. Everything went back together just as you'd expect. Let's take a look. Okay, well, everything's back together. It went together a lot easier than it came apart like usual. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure you're subscribed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this the hardest starter you've ever seen? Check out this video next. I'll see you there. That's a job well done.